Captain Artemis and her group of soldiers are pulled into a world where dangerous monsters and humans coexist. Grappled by danger, they must find a way to escape. The film opens with a fleet of sand ships sailing across a vast desert in a mysterious world. These ships belong to a group of hunters led by the Admiral. Suddenly, a massive Diablos, a huge horned monster, attacks them, flipping one of the ships. A skilled warrior known as Hunter is thrown overboard but manages to survive the attack. Back on Earth, Captain Natalie Artemis leads an elite team of U.S. Army Rangers on a mission to locate a missing squad in a remote desert. Her team includes Dash, Marshall, Lincoln, and Steeler. As they search, a massive storm approaches, bringing strange electrical energy. The storm suddenly intensifies, and the team is engulfed in a mysterious energy vortex. When they regain consciousness, they find themselves in a strange, barren landscape, the New World, home to gigantic monsters. While exploring, the team discovers the remains of the missing squad and soon realizes they are not alone. A towering Diablos ambushes them. As the Diablos approach them, the hunter, who is observing the group, fires a warning signal. They fire their rifles and grenade launchers, but the monster's thick hide is immune to bullets. The attack leads to the death of Steeler and Lincoln, forcing the survivors to retreat into a cave. Inside the cave, Artemis and her remaining team members encounter horrifying Nerscylla, giant spider-like monsters. Artemis is injected with a paralyzing venom, and as the others try to save her, more Nerscyllas arrive and swarm them. They try to escape, but the creatures kill Marshall and Dash, leaving Artemis alone. She barely survives and wakes up trapped inside a cocoon of webbing. She manages to break free from her webbing, and finds her team dead or infected with Nerscylla spawn. She finds flammable oil leaking from old wreckage within the lair. Using a makeshift torch, she sets parts of the lair on fire to create a distraction. This causes chaos, forcing some of the Nerscylla to retreat and giving her a chance to escape. As she makes her escape, she is forced to fight off pursuing Nerscylla. She uses weapons she scavenges from fallen soldiers and debris to defend herself. Injured but determined, Artemis climbs out of the underground nest just as more Nerscylla begin to swarm toward her. She barely makes it out alive, emerging into daylight where the creatures do not follow due to their preference for darkness. Severely wounded and still suffering from the effects of the venom, Artemis collapses on the desert surface. Artemis runs into the hunter den and they fight each other. This results in a hand-to-hand fight between them. Despite the fight, neither seriously harms the other. After realizing that fighting won't help either of them survive, they begin to communicate using gestures. Artemis starts to trust the hunter, and he sees her potential as a fighter. They grudgingly agree to cooperate. She learns that the portals are created by the Sky Tower structure located across the desert. The hunter reveals they will need to kill the Diablos in order to cross the desert safely and reach the tower. They realized they needed to clear a path through the dangerous lands they were traveling. Despite their initial distrust and language barrier, Artemis and the hunter work together to fend off the Nerscylla. They set a trap by luring a Nerscylla out of its lair. When the Nerscylla took the bait, it crawled into the trap. With the Nerscylla weakened and struggling, Hunter delivered the final strike with her dual blades, ensuring it was dead. Determined to kill Diablos, Artemis and the hunter craft weapons coated with paralysis-inducing Nerscylla venom. The hunter introduces Artemis to the weapons of this world. He teaches her how to use dual blades effectively, showing her how they ignite with fire, demon mode, when used correctly. Knowing Diablos like to burrow underground and attack from below, they devised a plan to lure it into an open area where they could control the battle. The hunter coated an arrow with a rare paralytic poison, which was one of the few things that could weaken a Diablos. They set a trap for the Diablos to kill it with Nerscylla venom. Their movement and scent attracted Diablos, causing it to emerge violently from the sand and charge at them. They lure Diablos into an ambush, and after an intense battle, as the Diablos raged, the hunter took his chance and fired the poisoned arrow into its eye. This attack weakened the monster and slowed it down, making it vulnerable for the next phase of the attack. Artemis landed the killing blow using a massive greatsword. She plunges the sword blades deep into its skull, delivering the fatal strike. The Diablos collapsed, defeated, but the hunter is badly wounded. She makes a stretcher to carry him, and dutifully carries him across the desert. The pair reaches an oasis populated with tortoise-like herbivores known as apsaros, when a rat halos, a fire-breathing wyvern, flies by and causes the apsaros to stampede. Artemis and the hunter are rescued by a group led by the Admiral. they encounter a group of skilled monster hunters led by the Admiral. Unlike the hunter, the Admiral speaks English, making him the first person Artemis can properly communicate with since arriving in the New World. He explains that the Sky Tower was built by the first civilization to travel between worlds, using the monsters to protect it. He also warns her about rat halos, the powerful flying wyvern that guards the Sky Tower and prevents anyone from easily reaching it. Artemis agrees to help kill the rat halos so she can return home. The group reaches the Sky Tower, but as they attempt to activate the portal, rat halos emerges and attacks them. Artemis is thrown back into Earth's world through the portal, landing near a military base. The portal does not close in time, and the rat halos emerge and begin wreaking havoc. As soldiers prepare to engage the dragon with modern weapons, they realize their bullets are useless. Just as rat halos prepares to destroy the base, Artemis, now experienced in monster hunter combat, lures it into a trap and delivers the finishing blow using hunter's weapons. Artemis can slow it down long enough for the hunter to slip through the portal and deliver the fatal shot. The Admiral approaches Artemis, just before the appearance of another flying monster, a dragon known as Gormagala. He notes that as long as the portal remains open, there will always be the threat that monsters will pass through to Earth. Artemis concludes that finding a way to take down the Sky Tower is now their primary objective. In a mid-credit scene, Palico, the Admiral's cat-like companion, arrives to help fight the Gormagala, while an ominous cloaked figure observes the battle from the top of the tower. If you enjoyed diving deep into the story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated.